Hi, I'm your host Jared Gross, and thank you for joining us on the Community Producers, a monthly show produced by community volunteers like myself. And we begin this month in the Elk Valley, where on April 3rd, 1967, an explosion would rip through the Bomber North coal mine, claiming the lives of 15 miners. Now, on the 50th anniversary of the tragedy, a tribute to the fallen miners has been installed in Sparwood.
It's a reminder of the ever-present danger involved with mining, a statue to remember the 15 miners lost on April 3rd, 1967, as well as the other 166 who have lost their lives since mining began in the Elk Valley.
There's still a lot of roots in this community. A lot of people have lost uncles and grandfathers and fathers, so it means a lot to this community.
The statue is the work of Victoria artist Nathan Scott and was commissioned by the Miners Memorial Committee and paid for by the District of Sparwood.
We thought that it would be nice if we had a miner, an underground miner, to commemorate the miners of the time.
At 635 pounds, the bronze miner was created to be as authentic as possible.
So we went for 1950s, 1960s sort of a feel, guy dressing, and there were certain props that they really wanted. They wanted the lantern that would hook onto the belt, the battery pack that would be on the side that would run the miner's lamp right here too. And there's this whole thing about a lunch bucket, and it's a lunch bucket that you don't hold, but you have a chain that goes over your shoulder to free up both hands.
It's a project which hit close to home for Scott, who spent 10 years mining in the Yukon.
I understand the whole mining, I understand small towns, I understand a lot of what happens in Sparwood. So it was, when they phoned me up, I was quite excited about the whole project, and and then we just went from there.
The memorial also hit close to home for Earl Price and Herb Parsons, who were working at Bomber North and had just entered the mine at the time of the explosion.
I was a shuttle car operator. He'd cut the coal and I'd take it with a shuttle car to the belt and dump it and come back and get another load and keep going back and forth like that. But we never made it that day, that's all.
Price, who lost his leg in the explosion, says the events of that day remain vivid in his memory.
The dreams never quit. You still get the dreams. So just carry on with the dreams, I guess. That's all we can do.
Price is hoping that the monument will bring closure to the workers and their families.
This makes a big difference too, eh? Something like this, get everybody together, and because there's only 3 of us left now, myself and Herbie and Bill. 3 of us left, that's it, for the whole crew. So I think it's all right now. Get this off our chest now and carry on.
McDougall says if there's one positive to take away from the fateful events of April 3rd, it's the lessons which have been learned since.
Safety has improved because of a lot of the accidents and whatnot that have happened over the years, and hopefully it just will never happen again.
The statue is located at Titan Park in Sparwood and will ensure that those lost will never be forgotten. For the Community Producers in Sparwood, I'm Jared Gross.
Up next, Liz Adler from theater group Turner and Adler Productions, right here in Kimberley, joins Dennis Walker to discuss everything they have in the works.
Liz Adler from Turner and Adler Productions joins us in studio today. Hi, Liz. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Interesting life story?
Oh, well, I have quite a varied background. Moved up to Canada about 12 years ago from California. And got involved in the theater community right away here. We have some fabulous community theater groups in the area in Kimberley and Cranbrook, and got involved with them and met a lot of awesome people. And after a few years of specifically working with one fantastic lady, Tylene Turner, we decided to break off and start doing our own shows, mostly musicals, and just get a little bit more involved in the theater community.
How did you get interest going, though? Did you have to go look for actors and you're ongoing looking for them all the time, and actresses too?
Yeah. That's actually, we have an amazing group of talent to pull from here in the Kootenays. We met a lot of actors, obviously, through our work through the community theater groups, and you start to build sort of a base of people that you know and friends in the area. And next thing you know, the word gets out, and you have people showing up to auditions.
You've got a lot of shows at present, though, don't you?
We have 3 shows coming up this season. We have Death Trap, which is a thriller in 2 acts. Now that one's just a play, not a musical. What a fantastic show, written back in the 80s. And that goes on stage in June at Center 64 in Kimberley. Then we are doing Annie, the big musical that everybody knows and loves. It's their 40th anniversary this year, so we'll be doing that at Center 64 in August. And then Into the Woods, which is a Stephen Sondheim blockbuster. Just made a movie of that a few years back, and that'll be in November again at Center 64.
That's nice because it's a nice venue. It's small. People get to see and hear exactly what they want to.
Exactly. Actually, it's a beautiful little studio theater. We're really blessed in this area to have a different range of theaters around. So our theater is considered a studio theater, seating just about 124 there at Center 64. And it gets the audience right up close, and they get to have this really kind of personal experience with the show.
With those three different shows, totally different subject matter, is it hard to change the, the train of thought for all the actors and actresses? And because your performers always have to be thinking different all the time, right?
It is. Now, the good thing is we had so many people come out for auditions this year that we really do have a varied group of actors. So we have a group of 5 actors for Death Trap, and they're sort of just focusing on that show during that time. Not so much for me and Tylene, who back-to-back shows, I go into musical rehearsals right away for Annie while we're actually rehearsing for Death Trap. So for us, it's a bit of a mind trick to be able to wear different hats at different times.
Well, yeah, and you're taking on that many. You've got to direct it differently, or at least you have to have a different focus going for each and every one. Is that hard for you personally?
For me personally, no, because it's such a passion of mine that it kind of takes over my heart and my soul, and I just enjoy it so much that switching gears for me is sort of part of the fun of developing a different character, or just being a director, or just doing lights and sound.
I'm sure you don't have a big budget. Most groups like this don't. What do you do to make up for some of the shortfalls sometimes where you don't have the money or funding to do what you'd like to do?
Oh gosh, we're really lucky. Again, we have such a fantastic community of people that come together to create these shows. So we get, friends of ours who are incredible artists that'll come in and donate their time. We have friends that are in the construction industry that, might have some leftover stuff from a job, and we get to build with that. So we're really fortunate that a lot of people come together to make these shows happen.
Yeah, I would think you get a lot of community support in the fact that people do this because they love it. That's the other part of it.
Absolutely. And once you do it, you realize how much it fuels your soul, and it just makes you happy to be around this group of people.
Can you take the show on the road or not?
We've actually talked about that. Taking shows on the road is a difficult thing to do, but we are looking at that for the future.
Can you train actors and actresses?
Absolutely. In fact, our group, we're really lucky. We've got a lot of people that have been doing this for a long time. And then again, we have people that, their first show is with us. They get an incredible amount of information very quickly. And absolutely, people are always trainable.
We appreciate your energy, and thanks for coming in today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Dennis.
Community producers, of course, Liz Adler is with Turner Adler Productions and joining us in studio for some good conversation today.
Thanks so much, Dennis. And please, we encourage everybody to join us on Facebook.
Students at Parkland Middle School in Cranbrook recently got a tutorial in Horseshoe Cowboys from artist Roy McGee.
These grade 9 metalwork students are learning that horseshoes aren't necessarily just for horses.
The kids enjoy it and I enjoy it. And I don't think they can realize what you can make out of a horseshoe, And it's good for them. Where's the other leg here? Like there, and then get these, you can hold that one there.
With over 70 years of experience as a blacksmith and welder, Roy McGee has been creating his unique Horseshoe Cowboys since 1996, selling thousands of them across BC, even internationally.
We've done really good within the last few years. I just kind of dropped it, but I'm getting back in it now. It's good for me.
Needless to say, teacher Scott Ewell was excited at the opportunity to bring McGee in to share his unique perspective on working with metal.
His passion, just the things that he makes, the skill that he's acquired over I don't even want to guess how many years that he's been doing it, but just his ability to work with the metal just brings a whole different artistic side of things that the kids seem to just love.
Okay, boys, we'll bend these, eh?
In the roughly 90-minute session, students welded their horseshoes together, then bent them using the blowtorch, creating their own unique design.
I really like the welding and the bending of the metal. It's not something you get to do a lot, especially in an art form. in metalwork.
I like the welding part because like welding's always fun.
It teaches us a new form of art that is not as often around anymore as it used to be years ago.
Working on McGee's Cowboys has given the students the chance to use their imagination and has been very well received.
You're doing more projects such as like fire pokers and stuff where it's they give you instructions and everyone makes the same. This kind of gives you a little bit of diversity.
Now, with their own Horseshoe Cowboy to take home, McGee's visit is an experience these students won't soon forget.
I'm gonna spray paint. I'm gonna make it look really cool. Probably give it to my dad.
My grandfather gave me a couple of similar things like this, so I've kind of got a stand where I put them on.
And these students will soon have some more metal inspired by Roy McGee, as the class's next project will be a creative design using horseshoes. For the community producers in Cranbrook, I'm Kayla Sarabun.
Welcome back. Up next, James Farnan recently sat down with College of the Rockies President and CEO David Walls to discuss the upcoming trades training expansion.
And joining us now is President of College of the Rockies, David Walls. David, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, James.
Obviously, the big news around here lately is the announcement of the trades training facility that's going to be built. It's a $10 million project with $8 million coming from the federal and provincial governments, leaving the college and Columbia Basin Trust to pick up the remaining $2 million. How exciting has this announcement been for the college?
It's very exciting. It's a project that we've been working on for the last 3.5 years. And of course, part of that, there's a lot of work in terms of putting together business plans, and then of course, searching for the money as to how we're going to fund it. So this is great. So it's a culmination of the 3.5 years of work that we've put into the project so far.
So it's obviously going to provide some more spots for students at the school, but what exactly are they going to be using this facility for?
Yeah, it's for trades training, and there's 3 programs that will be impacted. We have about 7 or 8 trades training programs at the college, but 3 of them specifically, electrician, millwright, and heavy-duty mechanic will be impacted.
How important is it to have a facility like this heading into the future and the economic landscape that we're in?
Well, it's very important because overall, just in all of our trades, we have over 600 spaces for apprenticeship and foundation students. So it's actually a big proportion of what we do. And so having really state-of-the-practice facilities, as well as having the room to grow, is very important. It helps support the local industry, because all the apprentices pretty much are working in our local economy, and they come here for their training as part of their apprenticeship program.
That's a big boost for the education system and for the local economy. That's
absolutely
always great news. What do you see as the long-term impact for the college? Obviously, you've spent a lot of time to get this project to where it is. What's the long-term goal of this new facility?
Yeah, well, sometimes there are a wait list for some of our apprentices, or they can't get into the intakes that they want because we're capped out on capacity. So they have to go outside of the region for their typically eight-week training sessions as part of their apprenticeship. So this will give them better options to be able to stay and not have to move away for that period. Plus, it just gives them better training facilities than what we've got too. So they'll be working on much newer equipment once we get the building up.
And speaking of that, the building's going to be getting put up very quickly here. When are you expecting construction to start, and when will students be able to use the facility?
Right. No, that's a good question. We already have an architect and a project manager that we've hired, and we're out to tender on the construction. And so we're planning to break ground pretty much in April, and then be complete the following April, so April 2018, ready for the students starting in September. That's our plan.
Perfect. And I guess once this facility is up and running, are there any other things on the radar for the college? What's the plans going forward?
Yeah, there are. One of our big needs is for residents as well. We bring in a lot more students from out of the region, particularly international students. We're working towards a 15% of our student body being international students. And right now, within Cranbrook in particular, the vacancy rate for accommodation is pretty low. And so our current residence that we have is 25 years old and of course full, as you might expect. So we have plans for a new residence, and we have a proposal into the province for that as well. So we're working on how we might fund that, and partly I think we may see a bit more creative way of funding that, involving possibly the private sector and others, as well as just the college and the province. So.
Right, David, well, thank you very much for joining us. It's definitely exciting times here at the College of the Rockies.
Very much so. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Each year here in Kimberley, Spring Splash is a big draw. The most popular event, the Dummy Downhill, of course. Here now is a look at all of the thrills and spills from this year's competition. That's all the time we have on this episode of the Community Producers. I'm Jared Gross. Thanks for watching.